What is going on with the Ottawa Senators? 8 wins in their last 11 games. The Sens are now in a playoff spot. Let's bring in the coach, Bruce Boudreau. Bruce, it's pretty amazing what's going on with the Ottawa Senators right now. But in fairness, they've had kind of a soft schedule. Only 2 of those 11 games came against teams that are currently in playoff spots. So from what you've seen from the Ottawa Senators, Bruce, is this a soft schedule or a significant turnaround for the Sens?
Oh, it's a significant turnaround. There's no doubt. I mean, you know what? It really bugs me when people start talking about soft schedules here. As a coach, you say all the time you say you have to win the games that you know you're better than. And if you look at all the teams in the NHL and you take the best teams, for example, the record's about 500 against each other all combined. It's what you do against the teams that are below you that makes the difference. Ottawa's only doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're beating the teams that they know they're better than, and they will split the teams like the Torontos and the Dallases and Vegases. They'll end up 500 against them, but it's the teams that are below them that they have to beat, and they're doing it. So let's not give them say, oh, it's just because they're playing the soft teams. Let's say Ottawa's doing what they're supposed to be doing right now, and that's beating the teams they play.
All right, then, fair enough. I get that from a coach's standpoint. It's like you can't give me grief for beating the soft teams after you give me grief for losing the soft teams. So I understand what you're saying there. That all makes sense. So then what are the Sens doing differently right now from a coach's perspective? They're saying, these are the things you're doing right. Let's keep doing these things, and we can keep winning games.
They're defending. Gino, they're defending. And not only they're defending, they're getting great goaltending. That's what they're doing right. Their goals for, they've got the guys that are going to eventually score. They're going to score on the power play. They're going to do all of those things. But right now, if you look at their goals against in the last 5 games, it's a minuscule under 2. Their save percentage on Ullmark is 9.7 or something. Like, that's what they're doing that they never had before. And you know what? Good goaltending makes good coaches, and they're getting it right now. And you know what? The players are believing that, hey, listen, we can play with confidence, because if we make a mistake, it's not going to be in the back of the net. There's nothing worse than playing a game where you say, if I make a mistake, it's going to cost us, and your shoulders slump and you end up looking like you can't win. They're getting the goaltending so that if they do make a mistake, they know the guy's there to make the save, and they can play with confidence and use the skill they have and take advantage of the opportunities that they're getting. So good goaltending and good defending, and liking the fact that every game they play, they're going, that's only 1 goal against. Players take pride in that. Don't misunderstand it. If you get 1 and 2 goals against, the players in the locker room, they're loving it.
So Linus Ullmark, you mentioned his save percentage. He's got a .962 right now, 1.13 goals against in the 7 games this month. He's on fire. From a coach's perspective, how would you be handling him right now? Do you go up to him and encourage him, pat him on the back, or do you just leave him the heck alone?
I wouldn't I would leave him the heck alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't tell him anything. Listen, coaches, there's not too many Patrick Roys that can give you advice as a goaltender there. As a forward, I knew nothing about goaltending. I used my goaltending coach. I would talk to him, he would talk to me, and then he would relay messages. It was unless I was talking to him about his family or something else, I tried to leave the goaltender alone. And when he's in a zone, it's just like if you watch baseball, the guy's got a no-hitter. Do you see anybody talking to him? No, he's by himself in the corner. Don't talk to the goalie. Leave Ullmark alone. He's on fire right now.
You guys, I'm treating you now as Travis Green, the coach of the Sens. So the Sens are on the road now. They're in the midst of a tough 9-game road trip. They don't even get home at all, other than the Christmas break, until January the 9th. From a coaching perspective, how do you handle that situation when you're constantly away from home, constantly on the road? What do you say to the players to keep them sharp in this situation?
Well, right now, I'm loving it. I'm like Mr. Scrooge. right now, because I mean they've got nothing as far as they're not out shopping, they're not out making sure that their family's in town and what are we having for dinner and all of these things. They're just focused on hockey. So it's great to be on the road before Christmas. After Christmas, it's going to get a little testy. They get their 3 days off. They're going to want more. But I mean, but breaking up this road trip doesn't make it. It's still 9 games, but it doesn't feel like a 9-gamer. It feels like a four-gamer, then a break, then a 5-gamer, and then you come home for some good home cooking. And listen, if they come back 6-3 on this trip or 5-4, they're so far ahead of the game. They're going to be really tough to beat at home, as they already are tough to beat at home.
All right, project for me down the road. As I mentioned right off the top, right now the Sens are hanging on to a wild card spot and a playoff spot. What do you see happening come the start of 2025 and the end of this regular season? Do you see them slipping back out of a playoff spot? Do they hang on to that wild card? Or do they challenge for a top 3 spot because they've got the Leafs, the Panthers, the Bruins, the Lightning all ahead of them right now? Can they challenge for a top 3 spot?
Well, I certainly think they can, because they've never been in this position in the last 7 years or so, where they believe that they can make the playoffs. They've always been just chasing the game and chasing the game. Now they're in a spot. Their players are maturing. They've been around there for a couple of years. I think they've got a hold of that, and they're looking, they're going, hey, the teams in the East aren't as good as we thought they were. We're right there. We can beat any of them, and I'm sure they can. And listen, there's teams struggling. I don't see Buffalo coming close to them. I don't see Detroit coming close to them. I see Columbus fading. The Rangers are fading. So, I mean, and even the Bruins, the Bruins are in the midst of a tough road trip. They're in Edmonton tonight. I think the Sens are right there. And they play the other East. They play Toronto tough every night. They play Montreal tough when they get a chance to get against them. So I think they're there. This is the year. If I'm a fan, I'm sitting there going, hey, listen, this is the year we're going to make it, and we're going to make some noise. I think that's the way everybody's feeling in Ottawa, and I think that's the way they're feeling in the dressing room in Ottawa. So I'm looking forward to them to continue this trend and not fall back into the abyss sort of thing.
Merry Christmas, Sens fans. Bruce Boudreau is loving what he sees from you right now and feels really good about where you're headed.